Hey guys, and welcome to 𝗪𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗀, your #1 source for all things films and movies. And over the course of the last few years, we've really seen the DCEU evolve, and fans are really appreciating some of the hard work that goes into the movies. And when it comes to doing stunts, Henry Cavill is one of the actors who is really on top of pushing the limits to his own abilities and willing to learn and participate in as many stunts as possible. And while he doesn't always do his own stunts, there's been so many examples across so many different projects he's worked on where he's gone above and beyond and has done some very incredible stunts that definitely push the boundaries of what a typical actor would do. So today we wanted to take a look at some of Henry Cavill's craziest stunts that he has done by himself. Now, of course, he's starred in multiple different projects, from things like The Witcher to Superman to even a main character in the Mission Impossible movies, and it's really awesome to look at some of the intense things that he's been involved in. We've seen Henry Cavill on multiple different occasions talk in interviews about the involvement that goes into planning out stunts and getting involved in being a part of a project that has some intense stunts.
The craziest one was probably the helicopter sequence. The room for error was so narrow. We're flying through canyons with two helicopters, which are maybe 6 feet from each other's rotor blades. I could see the whites of Tom's eyes, I could see his expression, I could almost read his expression because I couldn't hear anything either. I was completely deaf to direction and everything because the doors of my helicopter are open.
We've also seen Henry Cavill talk a bit about the stunt process and him doing his own stunts when he was being interviewed by Jimmy Kimmel.
There was one bit where I use a real sword there, yeah, but that's pretty much like my family at feeding time when someone steals the last roast potato.
It looked like you were doing the fighting in that scene.
Absolutely, yes.
Do you use stuntman?
I do my best not to. On this, I didn't use a stuntman at all, and for me, it's really important that the character exists within the action as well.
In a different interview, he's also talked about the intensity of certain stunts, and actually there's always that high risk that goes with doing some of these insane stunts, but Henry Cavill talks about when he's in the midst of it, he's not really thinking about dying, but more about how fans are going to love the shot.
There's other stunts where if I don't have the right skill set for it, then there's a chance that people would die because I didn't get it right. And so there's only one stunt of the movie which was my giant heartbreak, which would have resulted in death.
This was the Halo, I assume.
Yes.
So Tom Cruise jumped out of a plane, I think over 100 times to nail down the scene.
104.
Yeah.
To shoot the scene.
To shoot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about training.
In one interview, he was talking about one thing they were doing for Mission Impossible that involved going up in an airplane and how terrifying that whole process actually is, but how he kept himself focused through the whole thing.
I need to ask you about the scene when you jump out of the military plane. You guys are parachuting down. Was that all practical? Because so many of the stunts in this film are practical stunts, of course.
What Tom achieved on that was beyond remarkable. I mean, okay, there is skydiving. Skydiving is one thing.
In another interview, we've seen Henry Cavill talk a bit about how he has to shut the voices out of his head to really focus in on what's going on and making sure that he does everything correctly.
Surprisingly not that scary. The adrenaline's so high, you're so focused on getting shots, and everything becomes so technical, it doesn't really get scary. There's a couple of moments where we were doing a particular wire rig stunt, which we did it a few times and didn't quite get it right, and it hurt the first few times because our balance was off. And that's when I got nervous on the fourth take, I think, just thinking, oh, what's gonna happen this time?
During Mission Impossible, they did a stunt known as halo jumps, and these are absolutely insane, and the whole process of it really is incredible. And we've heard Henry Cavill talk a little bit about how in some movies they rely on CGI to do stuff like this, but Mission Impossible is a bit different.
It's one of the best things about this movie is that you get to live the experience because you know it's real human beings and real scenarios. And so you're not... The audiences, we all know these days that half the stuff is CGI, but when you know it's a Mission Impossible movie, you know it's not CGI, that people are actually hurtling towards the Earth at maximum velocity, and if they don't do it right, everyone dies.
But first, we wanted to give a quick reminder, we do have a really awesome Instagram page that updates you guys on everything happening Marvel immediately. So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, check it out, link in the description. There's also a ton of really awesome memes and other things that are posted on there. So make sure you guys are following that page, and let's go ahead and jump into this story. But we've even seen Henry Cavill in other projects along the way, especially the Superman and DCEU films, where he's also very involved in the stunt process as well.
Run through especially this sequence with the stunt guys over and over again. I've been very fortunate to have Albert do a lot of the really tricky wire stuff for me, which caused me genuine injuries.
Right here we have Henry. Batman just threw him over the balcony.
Even all the way back in the first Man of Steel movie, he was involved in doing wire work and a ton of other things involved in the entire stunt making process.
There's the super speed aspect and beyond the scope of what is actually humanly possible. And it's been great fun working with the guys, doing the wire work for hours on end, and all round had great fun with Damon and the whole stunt team. They're really good people, and that makes a difference, because when you're doing something which is physically taxing and tricky to do because it's so new, it makes it that much easier when you've got guys who are actually enjoying it with you and having a laugh and having fun and working exceptionally hard to get it right.
But we have seen Henry Cavill on set for Batman v Superman talking a little bit about how the stunt crew really is the team that is able to put these really intricate stunts together and properly.
The stunt crew as a whole, they're fantastic guys to work with, and they know that I'm not a pro stuntman, and so I get a bit of leeway. A lot of understanding here. It's a lot of fun.
Superman is an alien. He comes from another planet. He's not an Earthling. And so the fact that he's not one of us really, no matter what he does, there could always be a critic that says that's unnatural.
Also, we've seen Henry Cavill jump into the main role in the Witcher Netflix series, and honestly, some of the choreography that goes into fight scenes is incredible. We've actually seen Henry Cavill break down how they did some of the stunts, and it does seem kind of intense, and he talks a little bit about some of the risks that are involved in it. On the other hand, it does also appear that Henry Cavill did a lot of training ahead of time before filming to really get the sword fighting down, and a lot of practice and stunts making sure that it was done correctly. This is something that's very common for films when he's jumping on to actually do his own stunts. Similarly enough, on Mission Impossible, he had to actually get his motorcycle license, learn how to drive a motorcycle for all of the scenes that were involved in that movie on motorcycles.
Had you ridden a motorcycle before?
No.
Oh, great.
No, I hadn't. And that was a real kicker for me, because I turned up on set and they said, "So, motorcycle license?" And I said, no. "Do I need one?" And they went, yeah. And I said, when do we have to do the sequence? They went, "A week's time." And I said, "I can do it in a week." And they went, "No, you can't."
In another interview with Jimmy Kimmel, we even heard Henry Cavill talk a bit about the long process of training for the incredible fight scene that he does with Tom Cruise.
How long does it take to shoot a scene like that?
We had it scheduled for 4 days, but
For
ended
4
up shooting for 4 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. It's the problem with
Whoa.
working with perfectionists like McHugh and Tom Cruise, is that if it's not right, you just keep on shooting.
So you spent a whole month in a bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With 2 guys on camera.
Yeah.
And then to put it even more in perspective for that film, towards the end of the film, there's this huge, intense fight that takes place on the cliffside, and they're on ropes just dangling on the side of a cliff, and it's so crazy to look at. And it's very interesting to think that in this case, Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise were just dangling there doing their own stunts to really make all of the shots usable for the film.
Both of them have done a really incredible job. It's been very difficult, very cold, wet, just unforgiving. They make a really great team, actually. They've been really something to watch together.
Well done, Tom Cruise. Let me go.
I'm amazed at the work the crew has done. It's really been incredible. It was the dead of winter. It was cold.
So what do you guys think of Henry Cavill and the stunts that he's done? Do you like the fact that he jumps on board and does some of these more intense things? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this uploaded every day of the week. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.